Hello and welcome to another free game feature. Today we are looking at I Wanna Be Minimal. We're continuing in the theme of slow games, but taking it in a very different direction today. This is one of my favorite games. It's by developer BMX Bandit, and it is a fan game of I Wanna Be the Guy, but it has taken the game, it has taken the mechanics so far from the original that it really stands on its own as its own game. I have replaced the music because the title screen music is Fine Shrine by Purity Ring, and I don't want to get in trouble. So we're actually going to look at the save that I'm on. I've spent 25 hours in this game, died 23,000 times. And we're not even to the first boss yet, so I want to share it with you. And so this is how it works. It's basically, it's based on this theme of minimalism and a very, very difficult platforming. And you have to use such a light touch here. And the area that we're in, the reason it's kind of lit oddly is that we are in water. And so it takes the basic idea from I Wanna Be the Guy of, a hard platformer with lots of spikes and a kid. And it just takes that idea and it turns it into something so completely different. And I love it. And the way that I enjoy these games, I find them very relaxing because I can just try over and over and really focus on trying to do these very difficult movements, very precise movements, and, focus on, what am I doing wrong? How should I be doing each part? And just trying to figure it out. It's very technical. It requires kind of understanding the mechanics of the game in a fair amount of detail. And just grinding away. And as you saw on the title or on the restore menu, this takes time. This takes a lot of time. And it's almost what I would call a meditative experience. I don't have enough experience with meditation to say really definitively this is a meditative experience, which I know a lot of people would just say, but it's to me a very relaxing but at the same time engaging experience that keeps my hands busy. And it's one of the few games that I can play when I'm extremely tired, because it's totally based on muscle memory. You do have to understand the mechanics in order to know what things to do, but once you understand a jump, once you understand what's intended for the jump, then it just becomes an exercise in trying to do it, trying over and over again, because every part of this is difficult, and your odds of getting through any one part is pretty low. And so, every little bit of progress is something to be happy about. But also, I'm actually going to try and save a little bit farther over to the right here, so you can shoot the saves. Some games make you stand on the saves to activate them. So it looks like that's the closest we can get to the wall. And so it's just a matter of, figuring out when to press the buttons, how lightly to tap them, because it's pressure-sensitive jumps. If you hold the button down, you'll go up a lot higher. If you tap it very, very lightly, you'll do a very short jump. And so figuring out exactly how long to press the button is a big part of the challenge, and then of course pressing it for the exact amount of time. Some jumps in these games do get to be frame perfect. I actually came to these games from Street Fighter because I loved grinding combos in Street Fighter, but I got burnt out on the on the competition side of it. And I didn't like the whole thing of trying to defeat and dominate and, you know, make life hard for your opponent. I like making life easier for people. I like trying to make people happy. And too much of Street Fighter was about making people not happy. And so I was looking around for another game that would have that kind of grinding aspect to it. And I discovered Needle Games, which is this particular genre of I Want to Be the Guy fan games. There is a very strong community around these games. There are over 5,000, I think over 6,000 at this point, though I'll have to double check on Delfruit. And they've developed, you know, subgenres within themselves that all just use the basic premise of, you know, the basic physics and the whole idea of spikes. Some of them are based on hidden traps like the original, some are more like Metroidvanias. Others are like this, where they're just, you know, everything is static, and there are no hidden traps in this game. It's all just based on threading the needle through these very difficult jumps. And they're not actually... I always thought that they were called needle games because you have to thread the needle like this. But it actually comes from... these games are very popular in Japan. And Japan was where the I Want to Be the Guy fan game community got the strongest. And in Japanese, the spikes are called needles. So there we actually made it past that jump. So now we're in water, so we can kind of jump continuous. Oh, there we go. So we made some progress, but now we're right back at the beginning. But as Bisnap said, and I always remember this quote, he said, "It's not bad to die in a game where the point is to die all the time." And that has really informed how I play these games, and how I play a lot of platformers. And when he said that, he was actually playing a different game by this same developer, BMX Bandit, called I Want to Stop the Meltdown, which is a much bigger game, a much more elaborate game, but based on the same ideas as this one. And it's one that it's a little too hard for me now as I get better at these games. It's definitely on my list of games to play. But for now, I'm working my way through this one, and on my live show, I play one called I Want to Have the Luca, and we're very nearly done with that one, getting very close to the end, and I'm really enjoying that one. And I really like the community, I really like the games, and I really like the creativity of there's so many different games. And, you know, some of them are not very good, some of them are amazing. And I recommend at least checking it out. Whether you want to kind of do the really quiet, simple, slow grind of needle games, or want to have the kind of more fun but still very difficult experience of the adventure games, or if you want to, you know, see some funny traps in some of the troll games. There's a lot of games to check out, and so I will have a link to some of them in the description. So that's where I'm going to leave it off. There's a lot more that I could say about these games, but I think I've said everything worth saying for now, and it's better for you to explore it yourself. And if you ever want to join me on the live show every Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday, usually around 7. Weeknights I often don't start till 7:30, but I play these games pretty frequently. I'd say it makes up the bulk of the gaming content. We also do crafts. So, I'd love to see you there. Otherwise, I'd love to see you at the next free game feature. I don't know what we'll be doing next. Probably breaking the slow game streak, unless I come across something that is, really compelling and slow. I think we're going to be looking at some different things. So until then, thank you very much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.